So, podcast episode number 90, number 9. So, over 2 months now. You've dealt with me for 2 months. You guys put up with me for 2 months.
It's been a long process.
Yeah, it's been
It's
a
been
very
a long 2 months.
yeah,
Longest 2 months of my life.
Yeah, very long 2 months. So next week is double digits. Can you imagine? We've been doing this for almost 10 weeks now.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I can. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Well, yeah.
Which is probably not what you're looking for, but
Wow. Way to ruin.
I can imagine a great many things. So.
Yeah. Anyway, so like we said last week, the new time is on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mitch will be on here next week. We obviously noticed we've only had 3 people on the panel, only because people have school and stuff. So Mitch is gonna be graduating, so he'll be on with us next week. So look, this is gonna be a very PS5 heavy show. A lot happened this week. It's probably the most eventful week of the year, I would say, for PlayStation. Like, so much happened this week, so we'll get into it. So let's start with our introductions. So Dory, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Dory. Go by she, her. If you're looking for me online, which is kind of weird, but if you're looking for me online, I am on Twitter at dclaire192.
James?
I'm James. You can find me on Twitter at Untitled Smithy.
And I'm Sebastian. I'm the podcast host. You can follow me at LittleSeb93. Alright, so what are we currently playing? James, I'll start with you.
I'm playing quite a lot. I played the Call of Duty Alpha. I played, one thing I forgot to mention last week is I played through the Order 1886, finally.
Yeah.
Which I was quite hot on that game. I think it got a bad rap. I think it was a lot better than people, at least from the impressions that I got before I played it. It was a lot better than I was expecting going in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that game quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What else am I playing? Still playing Inertial Drift, and I'm playing a bit of Kentucky Route Zero, trying to finish that as well.
Oh, how's that so far?
It's fantastic. Definitely in my top 10 this year.
Are you doing a review for it?
No. I don't think I will.
I'm very envious because I've been wanting to play that. I gotta get around to it.
Yeah. In terms of Order 1886, it's actually a pretty good game. The problem with it really was it was too short for $60. Like, if you get it now for like $5, it's actually great.
I can see that. Honestly, I maybe wouldn't have had a problem. I personally wouldn't have had a problem paying the full 50 quid for that. But that's just because I think I have a lower bar for that kind of thing. Because I totally understand not wanting to pay full price for something that short.
I'm not gonna lie, I regretted spending $60 on that because I got to platinum in like 7 hours, and I was like, wow. But the story concept's awesome. It's just
it's a shame as well because I feel like a lot of the backlash for that game has stopped any potential for a sequel.
Yeah,
because there would have been a great sequel for that game.
Yeah, I think what happened is too many QuickTime events with the werewolves and stuff. I thought that was disappointing, and it didn't do anything new. It was pretty standard Gears of War cover shooter kind of thing.
What I will say, right, is that's all true, but also it's still one of the best looking games I've played on the PS4.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first games to come out on the PS4. Yeah. Which is insane.
Yeah, rest in peace, Freddy. Was it because Facebook owns them? Facebook owns them now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I guess that sort of cements the fact that we're not getting a sequel for The Order.
Yeah. All right, Dory, what are you currently playing?
I am playing a lot of stuff right now. So I just 100%ed Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and 1 a couple days ago. So I'm closing in on starting my review probably next week or something.
Nice.
I finished Outer Worlds, Peril on Gorgon DLC. That review should be coming out in the next 2 days. For non-PlayStation stuff, I've been playing Spiritfarer with my partner. It is a lovely, lovely, charming game. Really recommend it to anybody. I'm not usually one for like games that keep you busy with little tasks and collectathons and like Animal Crossing kind of games. I don't really know like what genre to call it. Like those kind of Harvest Moon and those kind of games. But this is so comfy and low key that it's working really well for me. I've really wanted to start Hades and Paradise Killer, but I haven't had the time with all these other games. So I'm hoping to start Hades tonight.
I want to play Hades. I really want to play Hades, but it's not on PlayStation yet, is it?
No.
No, not yet. It's on Switch and PC. I'm really excited to play it. I don't. This year has been really weird for me because I just noticed it last night. But I've been playing genres that I don't usually play. Like Crystal Tales is a turn-based RPG. I don't usually play those. Spiritfarer is kind of like a Harvest Moon in a way, or Animal Crossing in like small ways. I don't usually play those kind of games. Hades is a roguelite. I don't usually play those. So it's just weird.
So I've been playing Madden because football's going on. I've been playing Tony Hawk a little bit. I started playing the campaign for Black Ops 3 because it's the only campaign I haven't played yet on PS4. I've beaten every single campaign on among the Call of Duty on PS4 games. So I'm doing that, and then I haven't even played Modern Warfare yet. So I'm gonna do the campaign for that after, and then I also bought the Mario All Stars today. I was playing Mario 64 today at work.
Nice, friend.
It's still fun. I mean, it's very old, very dated, but I know that game so well that I'll never not enjoy that game. I can play that forever. But
yeah, I'm excited. I picked that up as well. I'm excited to give that a try at some point.
Yeah.
How are you finding the Black Ops 3 campaign?
It was very buggy. I got like there was one checkpoint where like I swear like I had to like get out of the game because they wouldn't open the door for me, and then I just kept getting shot by the jet. Like he was supposed to open the door for the story to continue, and it wouldn't work. Like I died like 10 times, and I had to like get out of the game and redo it. And then some of the story has been okay. It's nothing, a little too futuristic for me. I prefer more of a modern Call of Duty.
It's weird for me because I've played and completed every single Call of Duty campaign since COD 4, and like usually even I can get through them pretty well even when they're not that good. Even the worst ones like Advanced Warfare was maybe not as good and stuff like that. But with Black Ops 3, I just couldn't. I couldn't get past the first mission because there was something about it that was just not fun.
Yeah.
So Seb, are you saying that you prefer your Call of Duty with Modern Warfare? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I do. I like the modern guns. It's too much like Halo. They're running on walls. They're jumping like 10 feet in the air, and it's just too much.
I'm the exact opposite. I prefer my shooters arcadey. Like I've always preferred Halo over Call of Duty. But.
Yeah, but like it's like it's going for realism, but in the future, and it's just like it's a weird balance.
Yeah, no, I get that.
The only cool thing though is Christopher Maloney's in it. I think that's his name, the guy from Law and Order. Like I love him in SVU. He's like the bad guy or the main character. I don't know. He's probably gonna be the bad guy. Like if he's a bad guy and later on in the story, it's probably the most predictable bad. He's like he's the commander guy that everybody looks up to, and then he betrays everybody. They always do that storyline.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm doing that, Mario and Tony Hawk, and Call of Duty.
How's Mario? I know we're not supposed to be talking about too many non-PS, but I'm just curious how's that running on the Switch.
I've only played Mario 64. It's very dated, like I said, and it's not in widescreen, which is disappointing. I wish they
Gotcha.
But it still holds up because I love that game so much. It's my second favorite game of all time. It's my first game I ever played in my life, I would say. I was like 2 or 3 years old when I first played it. But I'm excited to play Mario Galaxy because I never played that. That's my first. That was a great one. First time playing that.
I'll tell you, I think that's quite lucky that for you that Mario 64 was the first game you ever played. Because I think the first game I ever played was Shrek Treasure Hunt on the PS1. So, yeah.
And Mario Sunshine has been my first time playing that in 20 years. So, or 18. I think it's like 2002. 18 years on the GameCube. So yeah, I'm excited. But that's gonna be more for like side stuff, like when I'm at work or something. I'm not gonna be like at home like, focusing on beating Mario. So anyway, let's move on so we don't focus too much on Nintendo. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna do the Call of Duty impressions. But what I'm gonna do is save that when we get to that part of the show in PS5 events because it'd be an overlap. It would just get redundant because they mention the alpha in the show. So when we get to that point, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So we're gonna jump into Cyberpunk, the Night City Wire video, the new one this week. If you didn't watch it, it's not a big deal. Basically, they just went into the details of the city and the types of gangs. There's all different gangs. Like there's voodoo ones and all female one, and like and you can work for them because you're a mercenary, so you're not loyal to anyone. So you just go around the city and do jobs for them. So that's practically the event, really. Did you guys watch it at all?
Yeah, I saw it. It looks good. Like they had yeah, as you were saying, like they had the whole tour thing, and they had the gangs and everything. I thought it was really interesting, the tour video that they did, how the way the city's sort of built, like it's buildings built on top of each other and that sort of thing. And like I'd hate to be a level designer in that game trying to work out how that all fits together because it seems so complicated.
Yeah,
Another
news in Cyberpunk was that the multiplayer has microtransactions, even though they said their game's not going to have any at all. They made that point quite often, like that they were not going to do any microtransactions, that they're pro consumer. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's only like it's not going to affect the game. It has no effect on the single player. It's only in multiplayer, and then it's cosmetic, I think.
I didn't even know Cyberpunk had multiplayer.
Yeah, no one did. No one did. It came out of nowhere.
Launch.
It came out. Yeah, it's not at launch. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be like a separate thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. So I don't know. I'm not that bothered by it personally.
It doesn't bother me, but at the same time, like you say, you have no microtransactions. You make that a point, and then you put microtransactions in your game.
Yeah, I can see from their point of view. I can see from their point of view, though. I mean, like it's not coming at launch, so they sort of see it as a separate product.
Yeah,
but
still, you gotta keep the same energy.
Yeah,
it'd be like saying, you're really respectful of the differences between console generations, but then going back on that later on.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Imagine doing that. Oh,
imagine. I can't even imagine.
No. So
anyway, that'll be later.
So that's practically it for that topic. So Twin Mirror is coming out on December 1st. That's DONTNOD's first self-published game that they've ever done, which is it looks pretty interesting. I feel like if you don't like Life is Strange or any of their other games, you're probably not gonna like this one. And if you do, you're probably gonna love this one. Like they're very. I know people that really either love these games or hate them. I don't hate them, but they're not their cup of tea. Yeah. So, what do you guys? I mean, are you guys excited?
They're weaving that sort of. I feel like in all their games that haven't been Life is Strange, they've had a sort of. I guess there haven't been that many. There's been Tell Me Why and now this, right? But like, isn't there sort of like a? Maybe I'm wrong because I haven't looked into Tell Me Why, but I feel like there's like a mechanic that they sort of lean on.
Yeah.
In all these games.
True.
And in this one, it's. Yeah. And in this one, it's sort of like his mind palace sort of thing. The main character is a very sort of Sherlock Holmes sort of thing. But the whole sort of mechanic around that seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure how it works. I haven't seen it in too much detail, but
yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, it seems like I was just watching some trailers in prep for this discussion because I like DONTNOD. I love Life is Strange. By the way, I will say Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 is now free. You can just get it on Steam for free. So if you want to get it, I'm gonna download it because I've been itching to play Life is Strange 2.
Yeah, well, you never played the second one?
I haven't played the second one yet.
Wow.
I love Life is Strange 1 and I love Before the Storm.
Yeah.
I have my criticisms, but I generally really like those stories and that sort of game.
Yeah.
But so the way it seems to work is that it reminds me of the way that they did it with Arkham Origins and Arkham City and stuff like that with the detective vision, but it seems a little more detailed. People and objects become sort of like shards of glass, like as a human, kind of like the whole object becomes like glass. And you start restructuring things as you think they happened, and you have choices about how you think it went down, and that affects, I'm guessing, the story down the line about who you accuse of what and how you relate to other characters. So it seems really interesting. I'm a sucker for detective stuff and noir stuff. So if they do this right, I mean, and I already like DONTNOD, so I'm like, I'm pretty into this. I haven't played Tell Me Why, but I've heard both good and bad things.
I'm curious how they write adults because they've written basically teenagers in the last two games.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I haven't played Tell Me Why either, so I don't know how because they're adults in that game.
They're adults in that game, but I mean they're very young adults. So
yeah. I mean, one thing that I found really interesting, and like most of my information here isn't based off trailers because I think I've only seen the first trailer for the game. It's mostly based off a preview from Edge magazine. and they were talking about how there's a mechanic in the game where there's a guy. It sort of feels like a devil on your shoulder kind of deal, where there's like a guy who'll sort of guide you through big narrative choices and sort of tell you. I think what I'm remembering is he'll tell you possible outcomes for like choices that you'll make, and then you have to sort of decide what to do. And that seems like a pretty cool way of handling that sort of those big choices in those games.
Yeah. Hopefully it has a hopefully it lets you make actual decisions that have consequences, and I hope there's different endings. I hope it's not like the Telltale's version where it's like you think you're making choices but it ends up in the same ending anyway.
Because they've really nailed that in Life is Strange 2, where it's sort of all your choices in all 5 episodes lead into what happens in the ending. Like, because they all sort of weave into it feels like the choices are sort of ingrained in the characters, and what they choose to do in the end is out of your control, but it's based on what you've decided to do in the other episodes. Yeah. So I feel like if they do that again, then it's a winner.
Yeah, I feel like all DONTNOD needs to do for me to want this game is consequences that actually matter and impact the story. And there's no reason not to. It's not like a franchise. It's not like you're writing Telltale Batman, right? And even that, I feel like, had pretty strong decisions that you got to make within the Batman universe because it was their own thing. But strong consequences that actually impact the story and strong writing. I mean, that's really. I mean, I don't need a graphical workhorse, and I don't. I would like solid dialogue, obviously, or that's part of writing, but solid voice acting more so.
Yeah, I mean, but, I don't expect much from their graphics. Obviously, the character models in all the games are not great, but they have their own style.
They're still a pretty indie studio,
but they're fine, I mean, and they're French, I think. So I don't expect dialogue to be perfect. It can be a little cringy sometimes. You can tell they're not they're Europeans writing for Americans.
I feel like they did I feel like they improved so much between Life is Strange 1 and 2.
They definitely did.
Like Life is Strange 1, going back to it now, the dialogue in a lot of places is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
But Life is Strange 2 is miles ahead of that.
So, yeah. Plus, people on the West Coast have a whole different way of talking compared over here. So, like, we don't say hello that much here. At least I don't. Anyway, so I think that's pretty much all to say about that one. So let's just jump right into the PS5 event. So we're now gonna the rest of the show is gonna be all PS5. So we're gonna go through every game. I'm gonna skip like the smaller ones like Five Nights at Freddy's or Fortnite because we don't care, and it was only 10 seconds long. And
wait, are you saying those weren't big events for us, Seb?
No.
I don't know. I was raving to talk about.
We all collectively sighed when it came on. So
I was raving to talk about Fortnite, man. I don't know. Like I came here expecting to talk about Fortnite. I was excited. The podcast ruined for me now.
Who are you bullshitting? Don't bullshit. Who you bullshit? we were all like, it's a weird choice to put this at the end of the show. Like they put that right before the price.
It was definitely strange. We were all expecting, here we go, it's the price coming up, yes, and then Fortnite comes on. And I'm pretty sure around the world you could hear a collective sigh as Fortnite appeared.
Would have been funny if they like showed Skyrim PS5 edition.
You know it's in the works.
GTA, I know, and GTA 5 PS5 edition, and then Resident Evil 4 is coming to PS5 because it comes to every platform, and I'm gonna play it again. Anyway, so let's start with Final Fantasy 16. It was rumored like a week beforehand. They had a Twitter page that kind of got leaked, I guess, and I kind of figured it's in the works because it's been 5 years since 15. The first thing you notice right off at least I noticed right off the bat is very stylized like Final Fantasy 14 because it's the same people working on it. It's very fantasy focused. It's not like Final Fantasy 7 Remake where it's more in a modern city setting. It's very they've gone back to fantasy. One of the like obviously we noticed the action is very Final Fantasy 7 Remake like and Final Fantasy 15 like. It's going to be an action RPG. But the biggest thing that caught my eye is that the fact that everybody turns into summons. Like the little boy turns into like a phoenix and then one of the guys turns into Ifrit, which is the summon that appears in every game, like the fire guy with the horns. He appears in every game. So were you guys? Did you guys expect this, or did it catch you by surprise?
I definitely didn't expect it at the beginning of the damn show. Like that was wild. I have never really been super into Final Fantasy as a series, which is ironic because I love Kingdom Hearts. But um, I don't know. This trailer got me kind of hyped. Like I haven't been paying attention to the Final Fantasy series. No idea what the hell's going on. But I know enough to know that each entry is basically their own unique title for the most part, except I know 10x2 and all that stuff connects.
Yeah.
So this seems cool. I was really taken by the action. The cinematics looked gorgeous. It really did look like a next gen.
Yes.
I know this phrase gets tossed around a lot, but it really looked like a next gen game to me.
It did, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know really what's going on, but it looks like Game of Thrones meets Final Fantasy, and I'm definitely interested.
It's been a while.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I think the main thing, I'm very excited because I was a big fan of 15, and that was my first Final Fantasy game. So crucify me if you want.
I'm silently judging you.
But that, I mean, the one thing that I think I need sold on the most is the whole sort of Game of Thrones-y sort of knights and that sort of thing. The whole the theme of it, because I don't know. It took me by surprise because it's not generally, and I know I only started on 15, but it's not generally something I associate with Final Fantasy. Is that sort of Game of Thrones? Because I always see Final Fantasy as more Lord of the Rings than Game of Thrones.
Like.
Yeah, when I think Final Fantasy, I don't think like medieval fantasy or Game of Thrones type fantasy. I think, I guess Lord of the Rings would make more sense, maybe.
Well, Dory, what's your history with Final Fantasy? Like what games have you played?
Very narrow. I've played the original and the remake of 7. I know Final Fantasy characters through just cultural osmosis and also through Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And then, I'm vaguely aware of 15's reputation, which is largely negative, if I'm not mistaken.
I would say it's mixed. I would say people that really like it and really don't like it, I would say.
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of controversy over the past years, but anyway, it's not a ton.
Okay. The only reason I asked is because Final Fantasy was very fantasy-like for the first 5 games when they first came out. And then when we got to 6, it started getting more into machines. And then 7 and 8 were very modern, the cities and cars and things like that. Which you guys played 7 and 15, which obviously is in modern settings, or fantasy modern settings. Obviously, we don't have chocobos running around. I wish though.
Damn, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and then 9 was fantasy, and then 10 was fantasy, and then so they jump back and forth. So
10 is the one with the pop singers, right?
10-2.
10-2 is the one with pop singers. That's right.
That one's Charlie's. That one turns into Charlie's Angels. And I'm not even joking with you. And those songs slap. Like that soundtrack's awesome. Like that's a great soundtrack. The game itself is not great, but the soundtrack's awesome. But you imagine the emotional ending of Final Fantasy X, and then you get excited for the sequel, and then the first thing you put on, the first scene that comes on is her singing in a concert, like singing a pop song in front of hundreds of people. Like, what game is this? So, yeah, that game is notorious. Anyway, so I think we're all hyped for this game. I'm probably the resident Final Fantasy fan. It's my second favorite series in the world, right after Resident Evil. So I'm definitely hyped for this. That action
looks slick.
It does. If it's like Seven's combat, like the remakes, I'm excited.
Yes.
Like they did a great.
I'm into it.
That was probably the best mix between action and old school RPG.
It's like my number 2 game of the year, pretty much.
Yeah.
7 remakes. So
I think they're gonna keep that gameplay style for quite a while. The next couple games, and then they always change it up at some point.
You give me a good story, and I'm pretty much sold.
Yeah. Like I said, though, if you guys, I'm sure you guys haven't played 14. Fran's playing it right now. I wish he was on here to say it, but it looks just like 14, like the style. Like everybody's kind of lanky and tall. You know what I mean? Like, and the way they dress, it's definitely, you can tell the creator of 14 is doing this one. All right, so
that's a great thing as well. Just to jump in, because people are always praising the story in 14 and all the expansions and everything.
Yes.
Like I've heard a lot of people say that's like the best story in video games at the moment. Or it's similar things. So
I can't. Yeah, it's considering it's an MMO. I haven't really got far in it. Like I've only played it like surface level. I've never. it's like I gotta play hundreds and hundreds of hours to really get anywhere. So, but the soundtracks are awesome, and I know the basic story of it. So, yeah, it's really good. But yeah, I really can't comment on that as much. Okay, so let's get into Miles Morales. Like, I'm sure we're all hyped for this one. The gameplay is amazing. That blew me away.
Absolute hype.
Yes.
If you go back and watch that video, I could barely contain myself. I wanted to be one of those really stereotypical streamers or people who are doing react videos and just start screaming because I'm like, this is amazing. If I was slightly impressed with the combat in Final Fantasy 16, I was bedazzled by Miles Morales. It looks amazing, and I'm so hyped.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Like the music, the graphics, the animations, as well, and just everything just looks incredible. Like the game was exciting before with the other trailers and stuff, but seeing it in action is something else, really.
Yeah, like it looks like the same combat as the Spidey PS4, but it adds he has invisibility and he has electrical powers.
He has a whole bunch of new powers. Yeah,
he has electrical powers. So, but what was really impressive was just how much was on the screen. Like they really show off the SSD, which is why it amazes me that there's a I mean, I guess it's not amazing. It's not really a shock, but there's a PS4 version. I'm kind of wondering watching that, like, how well is this going to look on PS4 when PS5 is doing all this? Like, is there going to be a huge difference, or is it going to be held back by a PS4?
Well, here's the
version?
thing, right? With the holding back of I know a lot of people are concerned that these games are going to be on PS4 and they're going to get held back.
Right.
My sort of thinking on it is that so you've got Demon Souls is going to be a PS5 game and it's not going to be on PS4, and then you've got Miles Morales is going to be on PS4, but Miles Morales is built on top of Spider-Man PS4, so I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be held back anymore as if rather than if it was just on PS5.
Yeah,
because it's still built on top of that PS4 game.
I hope so anyway, but if it's not a surprise, because obviously there's 120 million PS4s out there and they don't want to alienate the fan base. I think most people are not going to buy a PS5 day one. Go ahead.
I think it's a safe business move on Sony. I get why some people are frustrated, but I was elated because I thought I wouldn't be able to play this for a freaking year. I know we'll get into this later, but Horizon Forbidden West, same deal there. So I'm really hyped for the news that they're going backwards. But I agree, I understand people's worry, and I understand people also calling Sony out on being inconsistent, because that is an issue.
Yeah, we'll get in. I mean, we can jump into that now if you guys want.
Sure. I mean,
they really preached we're focusing on next gen, and then you just dropped cross gen on people all of a sudden. But Spider-Man's not like a shock, because obviously not everybody's gonna be buying a PS5 day one in a pandemic, so that's not really a surprise. What surprises me is Horizon being on PS4 as well. I really could have sworn it was made for the PS5. Yeah, that's a total shock to me.
I did not expect. I expected. I was hoping. I had talked about it previously in the podcast. I was hoping for Miles to be on PS4, but I didn't expect it. And I know there are a lot of the folks around me, whenever I said that, was like, I feel like that's a little hopeful. And yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
But I ended up being right. And not only did I end up being right, but Horizon is on there as well, which is weird. I didn't expect that.
Yes. But I gotta keep the same energy, because I've criticized Xbox for this. Cross-gen games do concern me, because I don't want it to be held back. Because that was my concern with Halo. I was like, you're making this Halo Infinite on 2013 hardware. You gotta do the least common denominator for everybody. So that's my concern. But if it's not an issue and it runs great on PS5, then I'll put it this way: it's not really an issue to me. But if I'm criticizing Xbox for that, I gotta keep the same energy. I can't be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? But it really doesn't bother me, because I'm getting on PS5.
I made my argument about Spider-Man and everything, which I think is fair. But at the same time, they really did pull a 180 on everyone. in more ways than one. You know, like saying, you know, we're focused on next gen, we believe in generations, blah blah blah, and then coming out and saying, oh yeah, actually we're doing crossplay 2 months before launch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty shady.
And also, I mean,
honestly.
someone else pointed out. I was watching an IGN video yesterday that they were talking about a lot of the news that had happened from the week between Xbox and Sony, and more so on the Sony side, obviously. And saying like Spider-Man's been in development for like a couple years now, at least, right? So I mean, they knew way ahead of time that this was always going to be on PS4 and PS5. So I mean, just straight up lying. I mean, I don't know. I get why they did it, but I just think that they should have just been honest and just taken the hit and stopped trying to get an upper hand on Microsoft in a cheap way.
I'm always consistent that I prefer transparency from companies. Like if they just said straight up that we're doing cross gen, like I'd have concerns, but I'd be a lot more like trusting. Like I would appreciate the honesty, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But so apparently you can upgrade the PS4 version of Miles Morales later on if you have or something like that. I believe if they're gonna allow you let's say Dory wants to play it again on the PS5 like a year later. I think they're offering that, but I'm not sure if it's free or not. I'm assuming it is, but I really don't know.
I would assume so.
Yeah, I mean, I
would think so.
That kind of move from Insomniac, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's not confirmed, no, I don't think. And then if you buy the Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales, you get the Spidey PS4 remastered on the PS5. But it's $20 more, I believe. So you're basically paying $20 for a remastered version of Spider-Man. I don't know if that really gonna appeal to most people because I'm sure if you have a PS4, you've probably beaten Spider-Man PS4 at this point.
But consider playing in 60 FPS.
But in 60 FPS. Are you guys gonna be playing that game again? Just because it's 60 frames?
I probably won't run through the whole thing, but I'll give it a shot. I'll put it up for a few hours.
Spider-Man was one of my games of the year for that year. I love Spider-Man. I mean, I went back and played it briefly on a harder mode, but once I finished the main mission, the main story, and the DLC, and I got pretty much near 100% completion on a lot of things. I didn't really feel like going back. I feel like I'd really explored the limits of that game. So I doubt it, but maybe just to see how good it looks, maybe I'll do it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'll be getting a PS5 next year, but it probably won't be till summer or something.
I guess this question is more for James because he has the PS5 like I do, pre-ordered. Like, would you pay $20 more for a remastered
for Spider-Man
for a remastered version of Spider-Man?
Yeah, I've actually got it pre-ordered.
Oh, you did? You got the Ultimate Edition?
Yeah, because I went and pre-ordered it today. Because I mean, okay, so we're paying 70 quid for games anyway now. We're paying 70 quid for Demon Souls if you want to launch.
Yeah.
So I guess that the fact that you're getting two games sort of softens the blow, and I guess that's the whole point of including it is so that it feels like it feels less like they're robbing you blind. But yeah, so I think the fact that I'm more inclined to pay that much with the fact that they've got it in there, and I think it would be nice to have. Personally, so
just to be clear for everybody, Miles Morales is $50 like standard. It's not going to be 70 because it's kind of like Lost Legacy. It's not going to be a major game. It's more of a 8 to 12 hour game. It's like 1.5, I would say, for Spider-Man.
So the weird thing is, right, is $50 for you guys, which is less than what new games are now, right?
Yes, games are $60 here.
It's 50 quid for us, which is what new games cost.
Yeah, the pound. So, I believe the pound is cheaper than the dollar.
The pound is more valuable than the dollar,
so it's cheaper for you guys.
Our numbers are usually lower.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But for some reason, this generation they've decided that they're going to make them the same and forget about exchange rates. But yeah.
Normally a game like that would be $40. So there's a $10 increase because it's 50 now. So so normally a game like that, like Ratchet and Clank and Crash and Spyro and things like that, like remakes, were all $40. So the $50 is the new 40 now, and 70 is the new 60. That's basically everything's going up $10 now. Which
It'll be interesting if we're
get
gonna.
into.
I think it'll be really interesting to see how the AA space starts to thrive.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine a lot of people will be saying, oh, I don't want to pay $70 or £70 for that new game. Here's this other one that's 50 quid.
Yeah, we might as well
I'll get that instead.
We might as well jump in this topic now.
Yeah.
Like $70 is not a deal breaker for me, because if I'm buying one major game like every couple months, it's not a big deal. $70 is not going to kill me. You know what I mean? Like if God of War, let's say God of War and Horizon come out next year, they're not going to be out like weeks of a week like right after each other. It's going to be like one in the beginning of the year, one at the end of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It hurts you if you're one of those people that has to buy everything day one and buys every brand new game that comes out. Like, because I'm the same way. So I gotta figure out how we're gonna do it. Because what's gonna happen? What worries me is that Nintendo's gonna catch on too, and those games are gonna be $70. And like, now I can't afford anything. I gotta really pick and choose what I can buy now.
I feel like people are gonna adjust to this better than we probably think that they're going to.
I think so.
I mean, not to put too fine of a point of it, but 2020 has been a huge year of adjustment for a lot of people in many different difficult ways, and a lot of people are still, obviously, as horrible as it is, adjusting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like a $10 increase isn't the end of the world, and it's just inevitable. I also don't think it actually helps the studios in questions. I mean, video games are so expensive to make. If you are making a game like God of War, making a game like Last of Us Part 2, those are so expensive to make. I really don't think the $10 helps.
Yeah.
I really just think it's a way for corporations to get a little more money out of consumers.
Yeah.
But whatever, I'm willing to pay $70 for first party products like Horizon or God of War.
Right. It's a long time coming, because this has been rumored for years now, and I kind of figured this was going to happen, because in 2020, even though we've been in a pandemic, the video game business has been booming more than ever, because people are staying home and playing games. Now, if you remember, Dory, you're old enough to remember, games used to be $50 in the PS2 era, and then it went to 60 in the PS3 era. I believe it was I think it was PS3, and people had concerns too. Oh, I can't afford this. And then people forget like how expensive games were like in the Super Nintendo era, because there was the currency for those, like the way that they marketed those and all that, it varied so much. Like some games were like way more expensive than others. So this is nothing new, like in terms of that. $70, it sucks, but it's not like a deal breaker. But my concern is not for like us personally. My concern is for like people in Australia and New Zealand, where it's like $125 now over there, when converted to American dollars. That's insane.
Yeah, because the thing is, right? As somebody who's not in America, I mean, in the UK, they usually round the prices up to like the nearest £10. So you guys had to pay $60 before, which would have been like 40 something pounds for us, so we've paid £50 for games. So I expected a jump, right? And I expected, since you guys are getting them now for $70, I expected us to have to pay 60 quid, and which I was more than happy to do. 60 quid is not a big leap, but we're up £20 here. We're like, you guys are $70, we're £70.
Interesting.
So there's no room for exchange rates, and at the same time, £70 is really sort of reaching that mental barrier where you're up at that point where it feels like too much. Yeah. It feels like you need an adjustment period. You can't just £70 is that moment where you stop to think, okay, this is too much,
Right, I agree.
So
yeah, I mean, part of why I stopped playing video games for a long time, I mean, almost, I skipped the whole PS3 generation. So to give you an idea of how long, I mean, I didn't have a PS3 until like 2017 or something. Like it was partly because of how expensive it was to keep up with video games. So that is a danger, is that they're further alienating people of lower incomes.
No, I understand. I was very fortunate growing up, because my dad was a gamer, so he always bought games for himself, and in turn for me, So we always got the new games and the new consoles. So I never had. So I guess I had the advantage in terms of that. But and plus we also got a factor is every state in America has a different tax system. I don't know. I'm assuming you guys don't have a sales tax in New Hampshire, right?
Not.
No, because in Florida we have a 7% sales tax. So if I buy a game physically, it's more than $60. It's usually like $65. Like I gotta
Wow.
so games are gonna be like
we
70.
don't have sales tax.
So games are gonna be like $75 for me, or seven. No, I don't want to say five. I would say like $3. It's gonna be like $73 for me. That's why I tend to buy
Yeah.
digital because I don't have to pay the tax when I buy it off the PlayStation Store.
You know, I feel lucky because I'm probably moving to Massachusetts next year for grad school. So rip, like sales.
They don't have it there either. Right?
Massachusetts, no, well, they do have a sales tax. Well, I think they do. I'm pretty sure they do. But Massachusetts is colloquially known as Taxachusetts because they have such high taxes on so many things. It's a dumb name.
I'm not sure if they have a tax there because my family lives there, so I visit there every couple years or so, and when I buy something, there's like no taxes on the bill, like, which is crazy to me because I'm used to like in Florida, everything you buy is taxed, like sale wise. So it's like I always expect to pay like $2 more or something. It's not a big deal, but that's why I tend to buy digital compared to physical.
So anyway, we're just talking about U.S. tax law here at PS5.
yeah, but it applies to the gaming. Anyway,
it does.
Yeah, so it sucks for people in Brazil. It sucks for people in South America. It sucks for people in Australia, New Zealand, because these games were in Canada too. Canada pays way more than we do. I can't even imagine like what they're going through right now because Sony's pricing all their games like above, like, obviously America is just only $10 more, but for everybody else it feels like it's like you said, it's like $20 more, 20 something more. I'm you guys can convert it in your heads, but it's going up for a lot for everybody. Like for us it's only $10, but everybody else it seems like it's going up to like 120 something dollars. Like it's pretty wild. It's already expensive in those places. Now it's even more expensive.
What I'm hoping is that maybe it's just something like supply and demand, where you've got a lot of people. It's a new generation. You've got a lot of people really wanting something to play on their new console. Yeah, and so they're trying to capitalize on that, and it'll go back down eventually.
Right?
But who knows?
Because Brazil pays like $900 or $1,000 for the console, I believe. If you can convert that to American dollars, it's like $900.
That's a lot.
In Canada, anyway, so I think we pretty much got that one out of the way. So $70 is not really a big deal for you guys, right? Just to round it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, but I can deal with it.
I can live with it. Yeah. At least Sackboy isn't $70. That would have been like really shitty. Because I ain't paying $70 for that game. I'm sorry.
That would have been ridiculous.
But I think $70 is gonna make everybody pick and choose. Like
for sure.
This might really hurt games like Watch Dogs or something where people are not like super hyped about, so they're gonna like totally pass on it and get it later on. Because games drop in prices 3 months later. I feel like this might really affect the industry. A lot of people might not buy certain games. They're not like really appealing to people.
I mean, even Demon's Souls, I was on the fence about getting that. I was leaning more towards getting it at launch. Yeah. But then I saw the price and I decided, I'm just gonna wait. And like even with games I was 100% sure I was going to get. Yeah. And I probably still am going to get stuff like Call of Duty. Right. I'm now thinking, that's quite a lot of money.
I think a lot of people are going to have that same mindset. They're going to. I think Demon's Souls is safe because it's an exclusive and PlayStation's heavily advertised it. But like I said, games like Watch Dogs and maybe Assassin's Creed or something, where people are like, no, I'm saying they're not hyped, but they're not hyped like Cyberpunk hype and Miles Morales hype, and they might say I don't want that at all, and maybe you see a big dip in day one sales. Like maybe like the first couple weeks are gonna be rough. I don't know. I'm only speculating though. All right, so I think we pretty much talked the hell out of that topic. So let's get into Hogwarts Legacy. Now, personally, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. It's like my childhood. This is a bad time to be a Harry Potter fan because J.K. Rowling is transphobic. So I have mixed feelings because at the same I'm usually not one that like plays the moral crusader and like just boycotts whatever, but because Harry Potter is too beloved to me, and I've been this is the kind of game I've wanted forever. But at the same time, obviously she's gonna make a profit off the game, so I have very mixed opinion.
Because she owns the copyright.
Yeah,
so people are trying to salvage it by saying she's not involved in the writing or
but she
whatever,
gets a piece
but that
of it.
doesn't matter because she owns the IP and stuff, so she's already made money from it. So that just doesn't matter.
But well, I don't want to get political like on here. Let's focus on the game itself. I think the game looked really good. Like you make your own wizard, for which you can.
I mean,
you get to pick your house.
Just on that point though, it's fine for me because I didn't really like Harry Potter anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's all I had to say about that.
Really? The gameplay did the gameplay look appealing to you at all, or you just
I don't know. It looked all right.
Yeah.
I wasn't brimming with excitement because, as I say, if I was a Harry Potter fan, maybe I would be, but
yeah,
I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. So
a mix of James and you, Seb. Like I grew up on Harry Potter. I read Half-Blood Prince in like 3 days.
Yep.
I loved the series. I watched all the movies up till Goblet of Fire. Like I grew up with Harry Potter. It basically taught me how to read at a higher level when I was young.
Yep. Scholastic reading.
And it did that to a lot of kids. It did that to a lot of kids in the 90s, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But for me anyway, and I won't drag down the topic or anything, but I can't separate the sort of artist from the art kind of thing here.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a really tough sell. I'm glad that other people are excited for it. I'm not judging anyone who buys it.
Yeah.
You know, I understand it's a tough choice. I mean, you know, you can get a used copy, you can get it from a friend. Like there's ways around it that you don't have to give a lot of money to it. And I think there's ways to ethically or more ethically engage in the product. But that's all I'll say about that.
No, I totally respect that. No, I don't. Yeah. I don't have any problem with that.
But definitely as well, if you're thinking about, you know, if you buy a pre-owned copy, then basically, you know, the people who put all the hard work into making the game, you're still playing, you know, their work. Because I assume they probably want you to play the game because they put a lot of work into it. Mm-hmm. So you're still playing the game, and then the higher ups aren't making any money off that.
It's a very mixed feelings about it overall. But in terms of the game itself,
people are like, you have to buy the game because you have to support the devs, and I'm like, well, first off, you don't have an obligation to support devs, and even if this was true, you don't have any obligation to buy every game.
Yeah.
Then it's like a moot point.
Yeah.
And also, that's not how big AAA companies work. Like they get their money from salaries and stuff. They don't get their money from the games, how they're bought and stuff. So that's not how it works.
That's fair.
But I think if you're a Harry Potter fan and you're not in the know about this stuff, then you're probably pretty excited for this game, right?
Yeah.
If you're not a Harry Potter fan, or you said if you
are a Harry Potter fan,
like I said, like my generation is called the Harry Potter generation for a reason, because when the book series came out, they had curtains and bookmarks and toys and the movies, and the books were like.
Seb? I know this is a total tangent.
Yes. I had I bought. That's where I bought Captain Underpants, Goosebumps, Harry Potter, bookmarks. Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, that's a '90s thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, Harry Potter is. If you're a Harry Potter fan, this is like the game you've been waiting for. This is a game people have been asking for this for years. I've said I've wanted a Persona, like Hogwarts like simulator. You go to school, do classes and things like that. And now you get to explore all the outside of the castle, which is really awesome. You get to fight dragons and ride on hippogriffs and things like that. This game is tailor-made for me. I just hope that I get to make. I do hope you get to pick the house and stuff. Like I'm sure it's gonna ask you a personality test, like on BuzzFeed or whatever. Obviously, I'm a Ravenclaw because you know.
Same.
Yeah.
I think we're probably all Ravenclaws because
I have no idea. I've never done it.
Ravenclaw tends to be the educated, like. Opinionated, smart house of the Gryffindor.
If those are the smart guys, then that's probably me.
Gryffindor
is not bragging, but
Gryffindor tends to be the
big nerds.
Yeah, Gryffindor tends to be like the leadership, ambition, like always takes the charge of things. Slytherin's ambition and like they tend to be bad guys, but not always. But they tend to be like ambitious people. And then why am I forgetting the last one? Holy shit.
Slytherin?
No, the yellow one. Hufflepuff. I call myself a Harry Potter fan. They're like the friendship is magic people. Like they're your best. Like they're the best friends. Yeah.
That's the funniest thing I've heard all day, Seb.
Yeah. That's
not even because I hate like My Little
it's
Pony
accurate,
or something.
though.
Just
Yeah.
because I never even made that connection. That's freaking hilarious.
It's accurate though. That's basically how the houses are. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's so accurate. That's why I laugh so hard.
All right. So next game so now I forgot to say this from Final Fantasy. It didn't say a release date, so I'm assuming it's 2022 at the latest. It didn't. I would have said 21 if it was. So I forgot to say that. This comes out in 2021. I'm assuming. I feel like this game's been worked on for years now, so it didn't say.
I mean, it leaked like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's 2021. So now let's get into Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. The gameplay they show is pretty cool.
So that was an extended demo of the scene from the trailer. Yeah.
And he had a cool execution where he stabbed him in the head and then shot him in the face. I was like, okay.
It reminded me of Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Or Doom.
Yeah, they had a lot of mechanics. Like there's a slide, you can slide now, and you can do executions and things like that. So they're really updating the gameplay, which is pretty cool. But this is probably the coolest looking Call of Duty, I would say, that I've seen in a while. But so
yeah, I think those executions might be limited to the single player. I'm not entirely sure though, so don't quote me on that.
That'd be cool if I mean, I guess in multiplayer, if like when you get shot and you're like you start crawling around, maybe you can execute people that way. Like maybe that's how it work.
Yeah, that's not. I don't think they do that anymore. Where you can go into last
they don't
stand.
do that anymore. I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty, but
right.
That's what I remember. Anyway, so you played the alpha, which is weird. Wait, it's weird calling it alpha because alpha usually means like it's like way in development, like early in development.
I will say, right, it's like 2 months away from launch, but it definitely feels like it's in an alpha state.
Oh, okay.
Well, or maybe a beta state, I don't know.
So that's your impression playing the multiplayer?
It's a little rough, but putting that aside, I think the alpha, I'm not too hot on it, right? Okay. I think the alpha is hurt a lot by the fact that there's no progression. You sort of just unlock everything instantly. Okay. And so, because that's a lot of the rewarding sort of gameplay of Call of Duty games is making your way through the ranks and leveling up your weapon and that sort of thing.
Right.
It's a lot more like Modern Warfare, last year's Modern Warfare than I was expecting. It's like the menu's the exact same, just with like a Cold War coat of paint. If I was expecting it to feel a lot closer to the first Black Ops game, and I'm a little let down that it feels closer to Modern Warfare, to be honest with you.
And when you say you rank up too easy, is that because it's an alpha, or is that how the game's going to be?
Well, no, in the alpha, there's no progression at all. You have everything unlocked instantly.
So that's just for the alpha then? Yeah,
just for the alpha.
Okay. Now, how did the game feel though? Like was it laggy? Was the frame rate bad? How was it?
No, all the technical stuff is fine. I mean, there's some issues. It's alpha stuff though. Stuff they could easily fix before launch.
Yeah.
But like the weapons, they all feel really good. Honestly, most of them at least, they feel probably better than Modern Warfare's did.
Yeah.
But it does feel a lot like movement and stuff feels a lot like Modern Warfare, because I think it's sort of built on the same technology or whatever it's trying, because it needs to link into that game with like Warzone and everything. I don't know how that's going to work entirely, but yeah, it feels very close to that game in terms of how it feels to move.
Yeah.
And shoot weapons and stuff, but the weapons in general, they feel punchier, because Treyarch's always been very good at making weapons feel powerful and like fun to use and satisfying to use.
So it's not arcadey at all. It's more.
I mean, it feels like Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's more modern.
So
like
as
arcade,
take that as you will. That's
grounded.
As arcadey as that is.
Okay, it's grounded.
So yeah, so I mean, yeah, so it's fun on that sort of level. A lot of the map design. So my biggest gripe, and I think this comes down to the map design quite a lot, is that when you die, it's really sort of disheartening. So I think the best sort of first-person shooters specifically they sort of feel like when you die, it feels like it's your fault, and you can go and you can try again and you can improve. I know. I think what's his name, Hugo Martin from Id Software. I know he was one of the things he was saying when the marketing lead up to Doom Eternal was, like, you have to make it feel like your fault, like the player's fault when they die, because if it feels like you got cheated, that's not fun. Right. You're just going to want to turn the game off then. Yeah. But if you feel like it was your fault, you're going to want to go again, try again, and do it better next time. Yeah. And I think the same sort of applies, even though it's a multiplayer competitive shooter. Right. A lot of the time, you're getting, one hit killed from across the map with a sniper rifle. Right. And there's nothing you can really do to prevent that. Yeah. Or you're getting shot in the back or from the sides. And a lot of it's to do with the map design, I think. Or you're shooting somebody before they shoot you, and they still somehow kill you before you kill them. And so all that sort of stuff contributes to the fact that it's really disheartening when you get killed. It's satisfying to do well and get a lot of kills, but when you get killed, it feels pretty shit.
Yeah. Okay. So like, how many maps were in the alpha? Or was it just like one?
There was 5 maps, so there's three smaller maps for the sort of 6v6 mode, like team deathmatch and domination, what have you. So that's Miami, Moscow, and Satellite. Yep. Which I think they've sort of all shown. Miami's my least favorite of those ones because it's sort of it's nothing against the place, but it's on any game mode apart from Hardpoint, it just felt like a poorly designed map. It didn't flow very well. No. But on Hardpoint, it was fine because everyone's sort of converging on these locations. Yeah. But when everyone's sort of running around, it's a bit of a mess. Yeah. And then on the bigger mode, there's a bigger mode with vehicles. Yeah. There's 2 maps on that. There's Armada and Crossfire, I think it's called. Crossfire is the one with the tanks on it. Okay. And Armada is the one between the 2 ships, where you can zip line between the 2 ships, and there's boats and that sort of thing.
We saw that in the trailer.
Yeah. So the one with the tanks, it feels a little too open, too big. I wasn't a fan of that one. But the tank gameplay is fun enough, I guess. And Armada, it's a lot more fun, I think. And of course, all of this is dependent on you doing well, because if you're not doing well, then none of the maps are going to be fun. Yeah, like I said a minute ago. But on Armada, it's a lot more. The map flows a lot better because there's each of the ships that you're on, they have like that 3-lane structure that all the really good Call of Duty maps everyone likes have. Yeah, where you've sort of got the 2 lanes at the side and the 1 lane in the middle, and they've all the ships sort of have that, and you can go between them, and it's a lot better. So yeah, the maps are hit or miss. Some of them are good, some of them not so much.
And do they feel like the final maps, or they feel like alpha? Alpha,
yeah, I don't think they're going to change them for the full game.
Okay, so it's basically you're playing the actual game itself, really.
I mean, yeah, that's
this is basically the beta.
Really.
This is basically the beta, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's well, they call them alphas and betas, but they're pretty much demos.
There's a distinct difference. I mean, I don't know why they're calling it the alpha.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just demos, really.
Yeah, because alpha means the early stage of the game. Beta means
I think they call them alphas and betas so that they can sort of get away with them being early builds and not being entirely polished.
Yeah, but it's only weird because alphas usually come out like a year and a half, 2 years before the game even comes out. Like, this is early stages. Beta is usually testing, like the game's ready to go. We're just testing out the servers. So I'm curious why they call it alpha, but it's not a big deal. I'm just curious why they call it.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, like if they called it a demo, then when it wasn't entirely polished, they wouldn't have an excuse. Yeah.
I would just say beta, but it's not beta.
Yeah, but they've got the beta coming, so they have to call this one the alpha because they can't have beta and then beta. It's a whole thing.
It's just weird. Yeah. I'm just used to that terminology. Yeah. So, you got anything more to add, or we got to move on to the?
No, that's pretty much. I think I've gotten all my points off. So yeah, I mean, as a whole, it's sort of, it's underwhelming. It's not as good as I was hoping it would be. But maybe the full game will be different when they've got more modes and more games, because the alpha didn't have that VIP mode, which is what I was really excited to try. Yeah, where you've got the one VIP and everyone's sort of protecting them.
Gotcha. All right, so let's move on because we're getting in about 50 minutes. Oh, about an hour. Okay. So next game they showed was Resident Evil 8. No, they said they just announced today that they're doing a 2-hour event at the Tokyo Game Show for Resident Evil 8.
Oh, nice.
I don't think I need 2 hours for this game. I really feel like they might show too much. I don't know. I want to watch it, of course, but that's nothing to do with the show. I'm just because the trailer they showed they showed a little more. They showed a lot of similar stuff. They showed a weird merchant guy that looked like the Penguin from Batman. I thought that was weird. They had like this weird Tim Burton animation. Like
it looked like Coraline.
Coraline,
Yeah,
Coraline, yeah. Like that's what I was. And it reminded me of that scene in Harry Potter, like Deathly Hallows, and she told the story and they used like animation. It looked just.
I wonder if that's actually
like
going to be in the game or if that's just a thing for the trailer.
I
imagine it'll probably be in the game, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would think so. But I don't want to go on a tangent, but Resident Evil is like random. We've gone from the mansion to the city to fighting in a volcano to werewolves to zombie T-Rexes to like superhuman Matrix powers to God, like, and now we're doing now this one looks a lot like Bloodborne and Resident Evil 4. I'm wondering if it's going to tie into the Resident Evil 4 remake because it looks very much like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I mean it's even called Village. And
yeah,
Village is like one of the most memorable, fondly remembered areas of that game.
Yeah, I don't know where this village takes place because Resident Evil 4 takes place in Spain. This one everybody speaks English. I don't know if it kind of looks like an old British like village or something, but like in the countryside.
It very much
does, yeah.
Like an old school European small town that's besieged by werewolves and witches, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, you live in Scotland. Tell me, like,
it definitely seems European to me, not British.
Not British.
Yeah,
like
not British.
Like, what would you say? Like, where it is? Like, would you say like more like Eastern European kind of?
I'd say it was probably. I mean, based on what little I've seen.
Yeah,
probably maybe somewhere near the Alps in that sort of region, you know, Switzerland, France, Italy.
Yeah, that makes sense. But they all have English accents, so I mean, they're not English accents. They speak English. So I'm curious.
Chalk it up to a video gameism.
Yeah, because Resident Evil 4 they spoke Spanish like right off. Like everything they said, it was in Spanish.
Oh, well.
Anyway, so there's not much to talk about that. But...
Always in Spanish.
Yeah. So we'll talk about Resident Evil 8 more when Tokyo Game Show comes out next. The show next week, so that's gonna be the next show is gonna be about. So let's get into Deathloop. Now, I'm not a big fan of Dishonored. I don't like stealth games, but I do like the concept of being a time traveling assassin. That sounds really awesome. The gameplay looked pretty fun.
It's not time traveling per se, is it? It's more like Groundhog Day.
Something like that. Something to do with time, right? Or repeating something.
I mean, yeah, but it's
maybe I'm
repeating days that traveling through them. Like you don't have a lot of control. I think is the thing. Like Bill Murray doesn't have a lot of control over time. He's not time traveling necessarily.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood the game then. I haven't watched that trailer since the event, so I'm kind of. It didn't really blow me away or anything, but the gameplay looked fun, and the graphics don't look that great. They don't look next gen. But I'm sure there's a reason why
it's very stylized.
It's very stylized. Yeah.
I think it's the art style. I think
it's the art style,
the graphics in a way, but I don't mind. Graphics are never my number one thing anyway.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah. The gameplay looks fun. I don't really know what to say. Like, it has a campaign, so I play that. I'll try the multiplayer out, but yeah, people are really digging this. I'm not like excited about it. And this game's $70. I don't.
I mean, the game looks exciting to me, and I'm not really a big fan of Arcane's games.
Yeah.
So if you're an Arcane fan, I imagine you're probably giddy.
Yeah.
About that game.
Yeah, I'm not an Arcane fan, so.
Yeah, I'm not whatever on it. It looks cool, but I'm not really into what is it like a roguelike or something like that. Like I said before, those don't usually win my favor just because I find the repeating process of dying often frustrating and not rewarding in games. It's very hard for me personally to find that process fulfilling. So and I usually find it more frustrating than fulfilling. So I doubt I'll be picking this game up, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'd honestly be surprised if it was a standard roguelike and if it wasn't something more sort of mainstream.
Yeah.
You know,
it might be.
I know
For
people
sure.
are really digging it, and I'm trying to get roasted. Whoever's listening to this, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Goes back to my point about like $70 games. Is like it's not blowing me away. I don't know. There's no way I'd probably spend $70 on that. But but like if it was cheaper, I'd probably maybe take a
Wait,
chance.
are they charging 70 for Deathloop?
We don't know.
Okay.
I
I
don't.
was about to say I don't think so.
But if they are, but I'm just giving an example.
Yeah. Okay. I would see this like a $50 game, maybe
Yeah,
$40.
that's how I would view it. Yeah, I mean, it probably is.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
Yeah. So we'll see. I got to see more. I'm not like bashing. I don't think it looks bad at all. It just doesn't look like my kind of game, personally.
Yeah. Same.
All right. So next game. All right. I keep forgetting to say the release dates. That comes out Q2 of 2021. So that's summer. That's summertime.
Was going to be a launch title, but they pushed it back.
Yes,
I believe
it got delayed. Yeah. So the next game was Devil May Cry Special Edition. Oh, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. That's a launch title, but only digitally.
Yeah, bummed about that.
Yes, and now this might be a different topic, but I want to combine the two. They said 99% of PS4 games are backwards compatible with PS5 is backwards compatible with 99% of PS4 games. Is certain games like this not backwards compatible, and that's why they had to do a remastered version? Like maybe Capcom has no interest in doing backwards compatibility. They want to.
No,
I'm just saying.
I think it's. I mean, they do special editions for like every Devil May Cry.
They do.
You get to play as Vigil. Is it Vigil or Virgil? I can never remember.
Virgil.
Virgil, sorry. Well, you get to play as Virgil in the special edition. So I think they do that. They do that regardless. So I imagine the regular version will be backwards compatible.
Okay.
Not sure why it wouldn't be, but yeah, I don't know.
Because maybe some developers want to milk the customers out more money, and they don't want to do backwards compatibility. They want to do a remastered version. You know what I mean? But it's not. I don't think it's up to Sony. But I'm just curious what that 1% is. They said they made it sure 99%. Like, what is the 1%? My assumption would be like PS4 launch games. Like in 2013, they're just so old that it might not run that well on PS5 or whatever. But I'm just only guessing. But I really don't know.
Or maybe like no, I don't know. I was gonna say like maybe PS1 ports or something, but that's not technically PS4 games.
Yeah,
I got really curious to the game for a second because I when I saw the trailer, because I was like, oh shit, is this DLC? But then I realized it wasn't DLC. It was
the same game.
They have said that they're going to bring it out as paid DLC after.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome! I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
No.
Well, I'm hyped for that because I would love to play as Virgil. That might actually make me, because the last time I played DMC 5, I was in the middle of a higher. I can't. There's so many difficulty names, and they're all bizarre. But I have, and I've only played one DMC game, which is this one.
Really?
But I was on a higher difficulty playthrough and was stuck on a boss. So that's where I left off. But I love that freaking game. So if they give me DLC, I'll buy that up.
So you could buy the DLC separately from the game. Like I don't have to buy the game again.
But not when it launches on PS4 when it launches on PS5 with the PS5, it'll just be the special edition that you can buy. The DLC for the standard edition of DMC5 will come later on.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, as much as I love that game, I've beaten it on Xbox One X and I've beaten it on PS4, so I don't really have a reason to play that again. As much as I love Virgil and the Devil May Cry 5 I would say is my second favorite Devil May Cry game after 3.
What's your first?
3.
After 3, yeah.
3
naturally. It's my third favorite after 3 and 4, which is sacrilege, I know.
No, all people like 4. I just didn't.
4, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't like I didn't like Nero as much in 4, like for me personally.
Sure.
So I wanted Dante.
I know. I thought. I mean, I played them all. I played them all in the lead up to 5 coming out for the first time, so I hadn't played them before that. So I it probably helped a lot that 4 was the least outdated.
Yeah.
At the time, but yeah, I was a big fan. 4 is my favorite of the DMC games. Quick history. Devil May Cry was going to be Resident Evil 4, and then it got too actiony, so they made it Devil May Cry.
But Devil May Cry 1 feels like a Resident Evil game because they fix camera angles and everything. It's very survival horror. There's action in it, but there's a lot of like narrow hallways and stuff. Two was critically panned completely and almost bombed the whole series. And it was too easy.
I can see the criticism for 2.
But three changed the game.
Yeah, I think 2 was actually like 2 better than 1. So my official ranking is 4, 3, 5, 2, and then 1. Okay. I haven't played the Ninja Theory one.
No, that's pretty good. I mean, the story sucks, but the gameplay was fun, actually.
Yeah,
I recommend it.
I'm gonna go back to it at some point.
Yeah, I definitely recommend
I think 2 gets a bad rap. I mean, it's a shit game. It is a shit game, but it's not. It's
a bad game.
But
I mean, it holds up better than 1, I think.
Yeah, one feels dated because 1 came out in like what 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
So what good even came out in 2004 and 2005?
Yeah. So that's a digital launch title, like I said. So next game was Oddworld Soulstorm. I've never been a big Oddworld fan. The only Oddworld game I've really played is the 3D one on Xbox One, like the regular one, like in 2001, 2002. I don't know. So I don't really. This doesn't look for me personally. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I've talked about this before. I'm not big into platformers. The only I think you and I, Seb, have both played Stranger's Wrath. I think that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the one I played. I loved that game.
Right. Me too.
They would just do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
they never gave the 3D one a chance. The series is normally 2D. The 3D one's never really. They've kind of given up on it. So.
Yeah.
I mean.
And I played the HD remaster, and the game really held up on PC. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, nice. James.
Yes. No. Stranger's Wrath is great. For this new one. I've seen. I'm sort of with you guys where I like Stranger's Wrath. Even though I think I only played a demo of it, come to think of it, but and I haven't really paid much attention to the other games.
Yeah.
But this game I've seen so much for it already, and I have so little to say about it. Like I feel like I've seen enough, and I'm just nothing that they're going to show me is going to sell me on it.
I don't like the concept of 2D with like little minions and you got to do puzzles, and I don't like those kind of games. I hate puzzles. I'm not. Well, there's only certain games I get a pass for that. Like I love Limbo and Inside, and those have puzzles. Like those are my only exceptions. But like I generally don't like puzzle platformers. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about that one. All right, so let's get into the next game, Demon Souls. Now, all three of us are not Souls people, so but we all can admit that it looks gorgeous. Like,
oh yeah,
that looks next gen. The lighting, the environment.
You died. That looks so beautiful.
Whoever was playing that, like, I don't know if they died on purpose. Like they wanted to show what it looked like, because that was like, yeah.
I absolutely think they died on purpose just to show because it's absolutely a huge meme. Like they absolutely died on purpose. I think.
Praise the sun.
Praise the fun.
I mean,
praise the fun.
That big troll boss thing. Definitely the best looking video game troll I've ever seen. Or just troll in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Now, have you guys ever played or seen the original one?
No. It was weird to me how the player kept one-shotting enemies. I don't know if that's late game or those were really weak enemies. I didn't know what was going on. I don't understand.
Yeah. No, after the podcast, I recommend looking at old footage of the original game, like how far we've come in gaming. Like, it's a PS3 game, but it looks very dated. Like very dated.
Yeah.
I know some people. I know some people actually are not happy with the remakes. Like, I don't want to say cartoony or colorful version of the game, but the original game is very tan, like brownish, like your wallpaper, James. Like it's kind of like that color. It has a very like a strong tint to it. This one's a little more.
That's just the lighting, by the way. It's white.
Oh, it's just okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has like a brown tint to it, and then this one's very colorful. Almost like very, you get what I'm saying, like the grass and the sky and things like that. It's not brown. It's very the environment's very detailed in this game. So some people are actually not happy about that, but I think they're crazy.
I've seen some
crazy.
Comparisons.
People
I've seen some comparisons, and it looks like a big leap for sure. I'm excited for the day that Blue Point remakes a game that I like The Last of Us or something like that.
The Last of Us.
You know. I could see them doing it. I mean, it's got the pool.
My dream is them doing a remake of Metal Gear Solid, which was the rumor for a long time. The original Metal Gear Solid.
I would have bought that, but now I've played Metal Gear Solid, and I have no desire to go back to it because it is painful to play that game now. Because the thing is, Metal Gear Solid wouldn't work really that well because they'd have to.
Yeah.
With Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls, they can keep the gameplay mostly the same.
Yeah.
But they'd have to change so much with Metal Gear Solid because that gameplay does not hold up at all.
No, it does not.
So yeah, I'd really like them to remaster. This will never ever happen, but I'd really like them to do Resistance: Fall of Man. Yeah,
I guess that's actually not a bad series to reboot. Obviously, like Insomniac would do that, but in terms of Shadow Colossus, they actually did change the controls because the original game does not hold up, like the gameplay wise.
No,
the controls are very bad. Masterpiece of a game, but masterpiece in 2001, not like now. It doesn't hold up, but certain games just don't age well. They can still be masterpieces for their time, but they don't hold up. So I don't know if I'm on the fence about this game because it's gorgeous. It's like the big marquee game with Miles Morales coming out. But I'm just not a Souls person, and I'm gonna wait for like people's impressions of it. I want to hear if it's more accessible. I mean, it doesn't need to be easy for me, but you get what I'm saying. Like, if it's more like where it's hard, but it's not like frustrating. Like you have to be perfect at the game and all that. Then I'll give it a chance. It did look a little easy because, but you're really hard to tell because there was no HUD. He was one shotting everybody, so it's hard to really say. I need to see gameplay more.
I hope there is. I hope they have it so that you can play with no HUD when the actual game is out, because that looks great.
That's hard. It's gonna be hard. No.
We'll have to hope that Fran is getting a PS5 at launch, so we've got somebody to talk about the game.
That's true. I mean, I might get it, but I don't know. I'm not a Souls person. I didn't even play Sekiro, honestly.
I fucking love Sekiro.
And I know it's a great game. I just don't get me wrong. I platinum Bloodborne twice. I beat Dark Souls 1, but as much as I love Bloodborne, but like Dark Souls, like I don't like the blocking and how slow it is. And this game is going to be the same way. This game has a shield and you got to block.
That's where I sort of fall off of. Like my first one was Dark Souls 3, and I've played some of Bloodborne as well. And where I sort of fall off of those games where I didn't fall off with Sekiro is all the sort of rolling and dodging.
Yeah.
Whereas I prefer Sekiro because it's a lot more sort of
parrying. It's
parrying, because with parrying you can be a lot more sure that you're going to neglect damage.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're dodging, you can like accidentally screw up the direction of the dodge and you'll still get hit and that sort of thing, and you can not realize how wide the enemy's going to hit and blah blah blah. But sort of Sekiro.
An idea of like how close I get to playing Dark Souls, Jedi Fallen Order, and Kingdom Hearts super bosses. That's as close as I get to Dark Souls, and then I back away from anything else that even remotely looks like.
Yeah, Fallen Order was a lot like Dark Souls and Demon Souls in terms of you had to block and stuff. Like Bloodborne, you can't block, so you have to dodge. You have to be ready to move.
Yeah, and that one you can dodge and block, so it's interesting.
You can parry in Bloodborne too, but I feel like the parrying in Bloodborne was harder than in Sekiro. Like in Sekiro, you can master it, where Bloodborne it was finicky.
But anyway,
so we gotta start moving on because we're racking up.
We knew this was gonna be long. At least I did.
Well, we already hit a lot of the topics that I did in the future, like because I figure there's no point of repeating the same thing.
Sure.
So let's get into the PS4 games that are free for PS Plus. So if you have you get a PS5 and you never played these games, you get access to Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat 10, Persona 5, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, and Until Dawn. So
that is good podcasting.
Yes. So if I'm
18.
If I'm understanding this correctly, you can download these games right off the bat once you get a PS5, as long as you have a Plus membership. And if you don't, they're constantly on sale for like $45 for a year. There's jump on those, because who knows? Don't be shocked if that goes up in price too. Like Sony's just going crazy with the prices.
Yeah,
Stack
even
they
I have
stack up.
PlayStation Plus.
They stack
I don't
up.
know.
You can buy like 3 years of it if you really wanted to for like $100 or more than $100.
I know I'm not the target audience for this thing.
Yeah,
but I already own all of those games.
Oh,
so I'm not gonna get anything out of that.
I was not really impressed. I was following along with you the whole time, Seb. I think the only game on there that I haven't played and would want to play is Second Son, and maybe like one other game, and then every other game I've either played or have no interest in. So
no, I'm with.
I mean, I still think it's a great lineup. Like, I think it's a great lineup, especially for people who just straight up missed out on the PS4.
Yeah,
or
it is,
you know, I think it's a good lineup. I think it's strong. It's just does not affect me at all.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Like, obviously, I'm a hardcore gamer, and I play every PlayStation exclusive that comes out, and I've beaten every single game on this list. This is not for me, obviously. This is for like if for whatever reason you didn't play PS4 games and you skipped PS4, maybe you were more of an Xbox guy or Nintendo guy. I don't know.
You might just be getting back into gaming or something.
Like, yeah, like I'd be shocked if you haven't played like Bloodborne or Arkham Knight or like Final Fantasy 15 or God of War. Infamous Second Son was like one of my first PS4 games. That was like one of my first platinums that I got on PS4. That was like 2014, 2015. I think 14. The game's really, I recommend playing it. It's not that long. You probably have fun. Dory.
Which one?
Infamous Second Son. It's really it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I've played Infamous. I haven't played the sequel. I actually recently sold my PS3 and Wii and the games associated with them because I just wasn't using them. But I did play Infamous and I liked it. I haven't played the second, and I guess I can't because it's not on PS4, right?
Yeah, they never remastered the Infamous games, which is very strange.
Yeah, very weird.
I love the first two.
Sorry, James, what?
So sorry, no, I was just saying, Infamous 1 specifically is a fantastic game. I wasn't too hot on Second Son as opposed compared to those, but
yeah. Second Son had
I know Second Son's supposed to be like controversial, or I've heard some disputing views on
controversial. No,
well, I don't know if controversial is the right word. Mixed reception, kind of like Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah,
divisive.
Yeah, divisive. Yeah. Some people some people didn't care for the gameplay, like loop or whatever, just because.
Sure.
But I thought the story was good.
I'd like to play too, but I'm hoping with Sucker Punch's recent success that they'll do it because it's easy money.
Yeah, I'm shocked they didn't. I'm shocked they never did that because Infamous, like obviously the PS3 era kind of was like surrounded with controversy and stuff, so a lot of people skipped out on those games. Personally, I never beat the Infamous games besides the Second Son and First Light. I didn't play the original two. Like I did, but I didn't like. I played it with my friends, but I never like played the whole game or anything like that.
Yeah.
If they did a remaster, I would definitely buy it. All right, so let's move on. So we got the price and we got the release date. So it's coming out November 12th for the U.S., Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, and Japan, and then it's November 19th for the rest of the world. So that means we get to play Miles Morales before they do. I get the rub in his face for a week. But now I do know that they prioritized North America because, you know, obviously North America is the biggest market there besides Japan for these consoles. And we're in a pandemic, so I figured they're thinking they're gonna get more of their money out of America. That's probably what their mindset is, but I don't know. I'm only assuming.
Did you know, here at PS Premier, we pride ourselves on being very global.
No.
But did you know that Fran and I are the only two people who are having to wait for the PS5? Because it's in everyone else's territory except ours.
Yep. Sucks to be you, I guess. No.
Unbelievable.
I don't know what the reason is, but I'm assuming it has to do with your taxes or something, or
it's probably, I don't know. I mean,
I really don't know. The Sony never gave a reason.
The UK is a big market.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The UK is a big market. I think it's just because America is the biggest market for gaming, and they're in a pandemic. They're trying to get the most out of it while they can, and then It's only a week later, so it's not.
Yeah.
If they're making you wait a whole week, like 3 months or something, then I'd be like, oh my god, that's very strange.
Well, then people would just start getting them imported.
People get pissed. People get pissed.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal. It's only a week. But November 12th is curious because it's only 2 days after the Xbox comes out. So it makes sense.
I mean,
but
IGM was pointing it out that last time the PS3 and the Xbox, what is it called, the One X or whatever?
Yeah.
The PS3 or the PS4?
What are you talking about?
The PS4. I'm sorry.
The PS4, yeah, the Xbox One.
The regular one, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say then? They were released.
The PS4 and the One X, I believe.
One.
Whatever else Xbox had then were released 1 week apart, and now we have only a couple days. So that's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's on I'm not sure. I think it's on a Tuesday, which is kind of weird for a console launch. Let me see. Thursday. It's on a Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
But Xbox comes on a Tuesday, which is kind of weird for a console. But that's pretty cool on a Thursday. I guess Thursday is usual. I don't know. Anyway.
So not for games. Usually it's Tuesday or Friday, but
yeah, it's usually Tuesday or Friday. So.
Cyberpunk is releasing on a Thursday, so I'll be getting that next to my PS5.
That's a lot. In my head, that's a lot. I mean, I guess it's a launch. Oh, it's a launch title for you guys because it's the same day. But
yeah,
but it's in my head. Basically. I view that as a PS5 game. Go ahead.
Other people, but like I remember when we all thought like the end of the year was going to be kind of boring or dry or like it would have. It's just like it just does not feel like that anymore.
Well, they've just packed everything in November. Everything else is sort of a bit meh.
Well, I mean, I got Cyberpunk, Mafia, and then like Miles Morales and maybe Demon Souls. So that's basically what I'm guaranteed to get. And then everything else is I'm on the fence about. And then I got Christmas. Like people ask me what I want, and I get a couple gifts from my family. So I'll probably get Sackboy on Christmas or Call of Duty on Christmas. So, all right.
So. Yeah, my family's gonna have to go without Christmas presents this year because I gotta buy a PS5.
I've been saving up, so that's kind of why. Cause I got birthdays coming up. I gotta buy people gifts. They're getting in my way for Chris. They're getting in my way for my own gifts.
How dare other people exist? Come on.
I know. I'm the only one that matters now. So the price was $500 for the regular one and $400 for the digital one, or you want to be specific, $399.99 and then $499.99. So, like I said last few weeks that I was gonna get the digital version, but I pre-ordered the regular one because I figured I still got PS4 games I want to play, and like physically, and I want to put them in the disc drive. And if I ever want to watch a Blu-rays, because I have a couple Blu-rays, I want to put it in there, and then I just figure like Walmart and GameStop and Target and whatever, they always have random physical sales. And I don't want to be stuck digital because digital is not always, they don't always have the best sales. Like sometimes they have awesome sales, and then sometimes like Walmart all of a sudden the new game comes out and it's already $10 off right off the bat. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing, like if you're buying the digital version now to save money, you know, what if you decide later on that you want to start buying discs or whatever? It's not a matter of just buying the disc drive for an extra £100. You've got to buy the whole console again.
Yeah.
So that's why I've gone for the physical one.
Right. Now we'll get into like the pre-order disaster, but there's a reason why I recommend getting the standard, because the digital one is really hard to find. Like it's that one's, if you really want to get your PS5 as soon as possible, you're probably not going to find the digital one unless you're quick, unless you're lucky. Obviously, everybody, I think it's the price that it's attracting everybody because it's so cheaper, obviously. But I think in the long run, you might just be off just getting the regular one because, like I said, there's physical sales all the time, and GameStop does buy
pre-owned games.
Pre-owned games. GameStop, you do like buy 2 get 1 free, and games go down in price quick. So
yeah.
You can get like 3 games for like $40. That's what I do.
You can borrow a game off a mate as well.
I have like 300 PS4 games, and a lot of that reason is because I take advantage of GameStop's buy 2 get 1 free. I end up getting like 8 games for like $100. You know what I mean? There's certain games I wait like a year after they come out, and then I play them. So
and this is a really specific gripe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if you want to buy somebody a game as like a Christmas present, but they've got the digital version? Like you can't.
You gotta buy them a gift card.
They don't let you. I mean, you could buy them a gift card, but what if you want to buy them a specific game? Like you can't. They don't let you buy people games on the PlayStation Store. They don't. They don't let you gift.
Yeah,
games,
like Steam
which
does.
they should.
Like Steam does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm a little worried about like buying digital. Like I want to buy digital to save money, but you all might be right that in the long run it'll cost you more. I also do have PS4 games that I might want to run on the PS5. Like I might eventually get rid of my PS4. I still don't see myself getting rid of my PS4 for another year or maybe a little less.
Yeah.
Even after I get my PS5, I still might not I don't know, but I still might not immediately sell my PS4 depending on what I do. Because I might just keep it just so I don't have to get the disc version, because then I'll still have my PS4. It won't matter.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's good points about stores having physical sales that are good, but then digital sales are sometimes really good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the thing with me was I was like I said a couple podcasts ago that I was going to trade in my Xbox and my PS4 towards that. But then obviously GameStop they handled the pre-orders not that great like everybody else did. So I had to settle for Target. So I couldn't trade in my stuff towards that. So what I'm going to do is trade in my Xbox towards like the accessories. That 3D audio headset sounds really cool. I still need to do my research on that before I really jump into that. But what I want to do with my PS4 is if it plays 99% of the games and basically every major game that I have, whatever. So what I'm going to do is put all my games in the PS5, and if it works, awesome. And then I'm going to trade in my PS4 and save that to buy games or whatever. Just keep it in my. If GameStop's still in business by then, but you get what I'm saying though. Like that's my plan now, because I wanted to trade in all my consoles towards the PS5, but it didn't work that way because I had to get whatever I could, obviously. Yeah. So that's what happened to me. So James, you got it pre-ordered. Like, where did you get the pre-order from?
Game, yeah.
Like, no,
you guys, it's basically Game is our equivalent of GameStop.
Okay. I know other places they call GameStop EB Games. I think that's Canada, but
I thought that was a different store. I'll be honest.
No, they used to call it EB Games here, but they changed it to GameStop.
Right.
My camera was screwed up. So last topic for the event. I mean, not the last topic, but the last topic for the event. God of War. They showed God of War Ragnarok. Now, I don't buy that this game's 2021. I think it will get delayed. And God of War always tends to come out in March or April, almost always. So I think 2022 April, March is a good bet. But maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. They didn't show anything.
I was definitely surprised by that 2021 release date.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It definitely struck me as a game that would need a little more time. But I mean,
you never know though.
You know, you got to think that they did the hard work by having God of War 1 and building the base sort of models and characters and having a story. So I mean, I feel like a sequel would be at least slightly easier to make, but I don't know. I'm not a game designer.
What I'm curious about, right, is that if they're releasing it next year, God of War 2018, they revealed that in 2016 at least, right? Like 2 years before it came out, and that was a full gameplay demo. And like, sure, we saw in the Raising Kratos documentary that it was a nightmare to get that together. So maybe they just decided it wasn't worth all that effort. But like, it's a little surprising that they would just do a teaser if it's coming out next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't show anything. I mean, obviously it's just a teaser, but now they have the foundation already in place. Like, they know the style they want. They know like how to do the boat. They know how to do the combat. They know what the world is. So it's going to be easier to do this one than the original, because that one that is a complete reboot. I mean, it's a sequel, but it's a reboot. They started from the ground up. But now they have it's a soft reboot. So now they have a foundation. So it's believable that they get this that this game was easier to make and faster to make.
I mean, winter 2021, right? Like, I don't think any earlier.
I'm thinking of the delay.
I mean, I agree with you. They'll probably have crunch issues or delay or something.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if it's actually 2021, winter 2021, no earlier.
Yeah,
like Christmas.
Yeah, but like I said, God of War tends to come out in spring always. and so Horizon will be more likely to be in November. God of War will be more likely in spring. But there's no way God of War is 5 months away. So yeah, I could be wrong.
I mean, I think Sony in general likes releasing games at the start of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, like lately, anyway.
But like I said, I think Ratchet and Clank's like March. They say it's Q1, I would think. So it's too many games at the same time. I don't think you can put Ratchet, God of War, and Horizon the same year. It might be too much. I don't know.
Sure.
Because we don't even know what's coming out next year, really. Like in terms of exclusives, like we've only gotten the launch. We only got the launch window. We haven't got anything beyond that outside like Final Fantasy or whatever. But in terms of what Sony's doing, we don't really know. Like Insomniac or could be doing Resistance for all we know, or we don't know.
I would be giddy if they were, but
probably not. But
between Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, and Spider-Man 2,
I agree.
They're probably not.
I agree. So let's move on to. You did a poll. So what was the results of that poll?
Well, can you keep talking and keep everyone busy while I get the poll up, because I actually forgot about this.
So I'm gonna read out the PS5 launch day games. They're exclusive to PlayStation only. So we're gonna get Astro's Playroom, which is free. It's gonna be on every PS5 right off the bat. It's pre-installed on your PS5. We're getting Demon Souls. We're getting Destruction All Stars. We're getting Spider-Man Miles Morales. We're also getting the Ultimate Edition of that, and we're getting Sackboy: A Big Adventure. In terms of
it's still kind of hitting me that like we're getting Miles in a couple months, and like I might have to like refit my Game of the Years because like this might make a huge impact on me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 6 weeks, I think. Feels like.
Yeah, it's shockingly close, especially considering the marketing lead up.
Oh, and why I'm on the topic now, these are all the games that are going to be on PS5 day one. This includes third party. Miles Morales, Sackboy, Destruction All Stars, Demon Souls, Playroom, Godfall, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Madden 21, Dirt 5, Beyond Light, Destiny 2, Call of Duty, Cold War, and Watch Dogs Legion. Although I don't think they've confirmed that, but that's pretty obvious. But Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, and then NBA 2K21. So those are all the games coming out PS5 on day one.
Right. So the poll that I ran on the Twitter account, so what I asked people was, what was your favorite game shown during the PlayStation 5 event?
Mm-hmm.
And the results were actually quite surprising, because I thought most people would say Final Fantasy. But what they actually said was 19% of people said Final Fantasy. 19% of people said Demon Souls. 14% said other and didn't specify, and 48% said Miles Morales.
You didn't think Spider-Man would win? I would think Spider-Man would win.
Well, Spider-Man I thought would definitely get a lot of votes, but I thought Final Fantasy would take it for sure, because that was a huge surprise. Which
leads into this topic. What was your favorite? What do you think had the best showcase at the event? Like overall, like if you had to choose.
Miles Morales.
I mean, I think Miles did.
I think Miles Morales too.
Yeah.
But I also think Demon Souls did really well. I think that was very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I know me saying Miles Morales doesn't make a lot of sense considering I just said I thought it would be Final Fantasy that everyone else said, but
I was a big surprise.
Miles Morales, Miles Morales looked fantastic. Yeah. So
next topic is the accessories. So what we're getting is the DualSense wireless controller. So this is more expensive than the PS4 controller. This is $70. The PS4 controller is usually $60, so it's $10 more.
Let's hope it's worth it.
I always get two, so I'll get one extra. Yeah. The Pulse 3D wireless headset, because PS5 has a really special like built-in 3D audio thing in it, like device in it, and it has dual noise canceling in it, and apparently the mic is really good. I'm not sure. I gotta hear the test of that, but that's the deal breaker for me. If the microphone sucks, I don't really. I want to stick with the consistent headset. Yeah, because I'll keep my Blue Yeti for the podcast, but for gaming though, I have the HyperCloud X2 or whatever it's called, and the microphone kind of sucks. So
Sure. I don't for gaming and stuff and talking to people on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I don't mind about the mic quality because I mean I don't have to listen to it. It's just them as listen to it. But yeah, I mean the 3D audio is a big draw for me.
Noise canceling too. Pretty interesting. Yeah.
I'm really interested in the 3D audio though, and what that's going to sound like. And I do wonder if you need to have that headset to get the full benefits of it. So
yeah, and it also works with PS4. So if you don't,
right,
you can still get it if you don't have a PS5.
Because the thing is, I had one of the PlayStation headsets because they have a range of headsets.
Yeah.
And it was a good headset, but it was also very sort of flimsy. So it had this sort of fake like leather thing over the ear pads.
Yeah.
That peels off with wear and tear very easily, and then it starts getting everywhere. Mm-hmm. And also, I dropped it, and it just kaput, just snapped like that. So
right now, I'm curious about this headset because it's $100, which is usually a budget for a headset. Like if you want a legit headset, it's usually like $300, $400 for a legit one. But
I think they're hyping up 3D audio and stuff. They want it to be available to the average consumer.
Right. I know it's hard to test, but I want to. I've tried YouTube, like going on videos, like people talking about it, but the videos are all dated. So I'm waiting for someone to like actually have it in their hands and deep dive into it. Like, there's nothing like that yet. So
definitely.
So I'm gonna save my money for that for now, and then once I get blown away by it or whatever, then I'm gonna jump on it as fast as possible.
Then you'll send Mark Cerny a photo of your ears and let him work his magic. Yeah.
Then I'll trade my Xbox and get the headset. Next thing is the HD camera, which is both dual 1080p lenses. That's pretty cool. I'm curious if you can use it like outside the PlayStation. If I can use that as a webcam, that'd be awesome. I don't think so.
You probably won't be able to, because I actually did look into that when the pandemic and everything started, and I didn't have a webcam. It's like there's some third-party software you can use, but it's very difficult. You're not going to get to use that as a webcam easily.
Yeah, because I've researched and I cannot find an answer for that. So let's wait for people to actually have it in their hands before.
But yeah, I haven't pre-ordered the camera because I've got the PlayStation 4 camera right here, and it's I never use it. The only tab apart from VR, because I got it for VR, but apart from VR, the only time it's ever actually shown up anywhere on my PlayStation has been when I've been playing Burnout Paradise Remastered, and they have the license plate, the driving license thing where it takes your photo after every race, which is so annoying because I have to. You know when it's like when you're playing a game and then a loading screen comes up and it's black and you just see your reflection in the TV screen. It's like that, but after every race in Burnout Paradise, it's a fucking nightmare. So
another cool feature it does have is a built-in green screen. Like it can take away your background and put like anything you want behind you.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
So it's really cool for streamers. I'm not sure if you have to have a green screen behind you for it to work. I would say yes, probably. Obviously, behind me, there's no place to put a green screen. The way my room's set up, so that's a non thing for me. But that's $60. There's the media remote. I don't know. See, part of me kind of wants it, but I'm like, why would I use it? Like, what would I use it for? Because I already have a smart TV. James, you like completely froze.
Yeah, James, you froze.
So like I was saying with the media remote, part of me wants it, but I'm like, what would I use it for? Like, am I just buying this because it's new and it's cool looking?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's all it does is the same stuff you can do with the PlayStation 5 controller.
Yeah, because I have a smart TV behind me, so why do I need my PS5 to play Netflix or YouTube? I already have a smart TV. So.
But back to what I was trying to say before with the camera, right? I don't think you will need a green screen, because I mean, if you have a green screen, you can use any camera. To like, you wouldn't need that to be a feature. You can use any camera to put in the background. I think it'll do that thing that Zoom calls do, that a lot of people have been doing on their pandemic fucking Zoom meetings, where it sort of imposes a background behind you. You don't need a green screen.
Yeah,
because I guess it detects where you are, your movement, and all that stuff.
Yeah, possibly. I think that's what it is. But like I said, I'm not getting really concrete answers on these. They give the descriptions of these things are very vague. I need someone to be hands on with it, and no one's done that yet because nobody has it. Nobody has it yet.
Definitely.
So the last accessory is the charging station, which I always buy. I have 2 of them next to me for Xbox and PlayStation, and I'm definitely buying this. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, I was gonna get one, but they were out of stock. It was the one thing that was out of stock by the time I got there.
Me too.
So
yeah, this is the one accessory I would actually get. I have one of those dual.
Yep.
I'm using it as I speak. But yeah, I have one of those dual controller things. So handy. So yeah, I'll definitely get one of those.
Yeah, I recommend it completely. Like, I'm not. Go ahead.
I'm not big on accessories, and I really recommend it.
I haven't plugged my controller into my PS4 to charge in like 5 years because I just put it on there overnight.
Me too.
Do that.
As you can see behind me, I have like 4 there, and I have 2 here, and I always rotate controllers. So the battery life sucks, but it's never been a problem for me ever. So yeah, charging station, and it's only $30. So normally charging stations are at Walmart for like $25. So that's the usual price. So that's a good price.
Yeah.
So 2 more topics because we already did the. Actually, no, we gotta do the PS5 pre-order disaster.
The elephant in the room.
Yes, because Sony handled this very poorly. I think Xbox did a great job because they gave everybody a heads up. PlayStation was like
too generous. I don't think they handled it at all.
They were just like, here you go. They basically grabbed a piece of meat and they threw it in the lion's den, and everybody just, or maybe a better analogy is like a piranhas. And you kind of just threw meat in the tank, and then all the piranhas went after it. Because what happened was everybody, people bought 5 of them and then started selling them on eBay and things for like $2,000, $800, $900 scalpers. And it's hard to say if it was Sony or if it was the retailer's fault. But what they did is they weren't supposed to do it until Friday. And they did it on Thursday night. So everybody was like panicking, freaking out, and jumping on the, like, it was chaos. Yeah, that's what happened. It wasn't supposed to be done until Friday. So yeah. I spent a couple hours doing it.
The senior marketing executive, Eric Lampel, he went on an interview with Jeff Keighley back in July. And he said that they would let everyone know before the PlayStation, because there was a leak about the pre-orders going live in the next couple of days at that point. And he said, no, we'll give everyone plenty of notice before the pre-orders go live. Plenty of notice. Not, which according to him, I guess, plenty of notice is 1 day. Or if you're in America, I guess, not even 1 day.
Not even 1 day.
It was like 20 minutes after the show.
Yeah. So
I got it on Friday, like in the middle of the afternoon. I was like, no, I follow Wario 64 and Cheap Ass Gamer on Twitter, and he was like, Target. I'm like, oh shit, and then I jumped on it as soon as I had it in. Okay, my story was I had it in my cart in Best Buy, and it would not freaking load. Like, it would not go to checkout. Like, I would get the loading screen, I would get my address, put the money in, and I click proceed, and it would not. The website kept crashing. And then you did that for hours. You kept clicking the button for hours. And then like after a while, it just like it takes it out of the cart. It says, "Oh, we're sold out." I'm like, I put it in my cart like 5 hours ago. Why is it sold out? It was in my cart.
And that's why I don't pre-order that sort of stuff online. I always go in store to pre-order that limited stuff.
Yeah, I knew where I am that wasn't gonna be possible.
Yeah, it's a shame because being in the UK as well, the event was on long after stores had closed and everything. Yeah. So I could wait until the next day and just go in. I had to get up early for when the store opened, mind you. But I could go up, wait in line at the store, and go in, and because the stores, they get like allocations of amounts that they can give out.
Yeah.
And you and it's a lot easier pre-ordering in store because you don't have to refresh a website every 5 minutes. If somebody's in front of you and they have they're going to get the last pre-order, just knock them out.
You punch them, like Thanos, punch Iron Man.
This reminds me of when I got the Wii with my my mom took me to Target to get the Wii back in when it came out, 2007 or 6, whatever the heck it was. So that's the only time I've ever done that for a console, but it was so exciting to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and go there and get it. I haven't had that experience in so long, but not repeating it because pandemic. And even if it wasn't pandemic, I'm not that kind of person anymore. So I just don't do that kind of stuff.
It's getting it's getting shipped to me because when the PS4 came out, I waited in line. I didn't pre-order it. I paid someone $100 to wait in line for me. That's what I did. That's what I did. Wow. And then I bought
that's the thing. I love waiting in line for that stuff. Like if the pandemic doesn't get any worse over here than it is, I'll be going to the midnight launch. I'm excited.
James, do you live in a small town or do you live in a city?
So in Scotland, we're generally pretty spread out.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot better than most places, I think.
Yeah.
We've had some spikes recently. Some rules have been reinforced, but we're doing pretty well compared to.
Yeah, but I mean in terms of just population, is it you live in a crowded area?
There's more people in London than there is in the whole of Scotland.
Yeah. Because where I live in a county full of, I'm 1.4 million people, and GameStops where I am are always super crowded when there's something going on. So I knew I wasn't gonna get it. I don't want to take the trip.
I live in New Hampshire, which is having has that population, the low population density, and we're relatively spread out, and we're honestly kind of lucky. Just kind of lucky, honestly. So it hasn't been too bad. Besides dumb college kids recently partying, but besides that, our numbers have been relatively good or low, at least.
Can't relate.
I still wouldn't risk it, and I'm still not that kind of person.
Because Florida is spread out. So I don't live in a city, but it's still high population.
I mean, I definitely understand, for you guys, it being an issue. Pre-ordering in store for me is always the way to go because I cannot deal with the stress of having to refresh a page over and over again and deal with that stress of trying to be as fast as possible and beat all the bots and everything and the website going down.
Trust me, I prefer to do everything in person too. But I have no choice. So I hate that it's shipping to me. I'd rather pick it up at the store. Now, for sure. I can't tell if the dates are placeholder or not because it says between the 12th and the 18th, and I can't imagine it's going to be a week later. Would I be upset? I don't know. I'd be disappointed. I wouldn't be furious. I'm not. I still got a lot of backlog, so if I can't play my PS5 the day it comes out, it's not the end of the world. But
and if they ship it to you a week later, how are you going to rub it in my face?
I know.
I'm
disappointed. I'm probably getting karma, so it's going to be karma. All right.
Fingers crossed, huh?
Yeah. So I want to start wrapping it up. So we got 2 more topics. So they revealed the size of Miles Morales. It's 50 gigabytes, and as we can tell, it's 1 terabyte overall, but 200 gigabytes is going to the system and all that. So it's only mainly only 800 gigabytes. That's a pretty good chunk for No, Miles Morales is 50 gigabytes, but Ultimate Edition is 105 gigabytes. That's pretty much 1/8 of your hard drive is going just to Miles Morales. And then Demon Souls is 66 gigabytes. They did say.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, but I'm so hyped for Miles, so it could be double that, and I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
I out my console, whatever.
Yeah.
I already made my peace with the size of that hard drive, with the fact that I would have to delete a lot of games to play new ones. But I honestly, the size of those, 66 for Demon Souls and all that, that doesn't meet my worst nightmares. I was worried a lot of these were going to be 100 plus still.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they're hopefully going to be less because of the way the PS5 works.
They said it was going to be smaller. Newer games are going to be smaller.
And maybe it's not feasible, but I wish that they would let the system read the game off of the disc rather than just the disc being a key for the game,
right?
Like they used to,
Yeah. personally for me, it's a non-issue because I only keep the games that I play on my console. So once I'm done with a game, I delete it. I'm not one of those people that has to have 10 games on their display. I usually have like 3. So this is a total non-issue to me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but the thing for me is, right, what if one day I think, oh, do you know, I really want to play The Last of Us, but then I have to sit for a day while it downloads, you know, and then by the next day I don't feel like playing it anymore.
Right.
So like I like to have all the games that I will go back to and really enjoy, all my favorite games just sitting there waiting for me.
Right. So Dory, is this a problem for you or not really?
Not really. I don't have a ton of games on my console at the moment. Like I think I can count on 1, maybe 2 hands.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those games are games I haven't got. Like I still have. I like to speedrun Kingdom Hearts 2 on the 1.5, 2.5 remix sometimes, so I still have that. And then I still really love fighting the Kingdom Hearts 3 super bosses, but I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
So that's still on there. I could easily get rid of both of those, come back to them whenever I want. And so I have plenty of room. I'm not worried.
Yeah. So James, is there one game that you always keep on there no matter what?
Sorry, you cut out there a little bit.
Oh, is there one game that you always keep on your PlayStation no matter what? You can always just jump back onto.
It's hard to pick one, I guess. Like, because there's different games for different things. Like, I keep Dreams on there because I like to go back there every now and then and see what's new.
Yeah.
I keep Journey on there because it's small and it's one of my favorite games. I guess The Last of Us, and now The Last of Us Part 2 as well.
Yeah.
I keep on that.
Last of Us Part 2 is on my system as well, just because I love the game so much, and it's my theme music and wallpaper or whatever for the system.
I always keep Madden on my console just because sometimes I feel like playing it for 20 minutes. I don't feel like playing a game. I just want to play a game real quick. I just leave it on there. So it's not a problem for me. All right. So
multiplayer games are a big, I would think for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's games that you're going to jump back into every now and then.
25 minutes. So final topic of the night is, so overall, what games do you plan on getting and what accessories do you plan on getting? Like, do you have it planned out, or is it like you're still on the fence? Like Dory, I know you're not getting the PS5 like this year, but like, are you still planning on getting Miles Morales like day one on the PS4?
I mean, I'm absolutely getting Miles. I'm most likely getting Horizon. I'm almost certainly getting God of War when it comes out.
Yeah.
I don't really have any big plans besides those 3 that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting PS5 sometime next year. But I mean, Sony said, and I know at this point we should take Sony. Well, we should always take big corporations' words, with grains of salt. But
exactly,
especially lately, we should take Sony's words here cautiously. But they did say, and this is generally a trend, is that they're going to keep supporting PS4 for at least 2 to 3 years.
Which is smart. Yeah.
I doubt that they're lying about that, because that's something that's just historically been true for PS3, 2, whatever. So I doubt that's not true, or why would they even lie about it? Right?
Exactly.
So I feel pretty confident in keeping my PS4 until the summer or fall of next year. Give the PS5 some time to work itself out, see if there are any big problems, wait for games to start being exclusive to PS5. I mean, if Kingdom Hearts 4 starts coming out for PS5, I mean, I'm there. I have to be there. I have to be there. So if Kingdom Hearts 4 somehow came out in 2021 before the summer, which is not going to happen, obviously.
Yeah.
What if Kingdom Hearts 4 came out cross-gen, PS4 and PS5? Would you still want a PS5 for it?
I'd feel tempted, definitely. I think I'd still snap myself into sense and get the PS4, but especially if there's a free upgrade. But if there wasn't a free upgrade and I had the money for it, I'd definitely heavily consider it.
Yeah, like, so you're gonna have the PS5 by the time Horizon comes out, or do you think?
Yeah, I think that's for sure, and definitely before God of War comes out.
Because I guess Horizon's probably coming out in November. That's when the first one came out. Probably a fair guess.
I'm planning summer because my birthday's in August, so I can get some extra money around then in case things are. I'm like I said, I'm moving to Mass next year, so planning on it. So there's a lot of things up in the air in terms of my personal finances.
Which is understandable.
The first Horizon came out in March or April or something like that.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. I'm thinking of. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Because Breath of the Wild kind of overshadowed it. You're right.
Yeah, it was the Breath of the Wild Switch. Horizon Zero Dawn were all the big things coming out.
I was thinking of something else. Whatever.
Oh,
So,
but I would buy the double controllers charging station too. But the remote, the headset, the
yeah,
whatever else, probably not.
yeah. So James, you already pre-ordered Miles Morales, but what else?
Yeah, I'm getting Miles Morales. I'm getting the console. I'm getting an extra controller. I've got the headset pre-ordered. I don't know if I'm gonna go through on that yet.
Okay.
Because I like you, I need to see more. I need to hear more words about it,
Right.
etc. And I need to know whether you can do the same thing with other headsets. Because, like I said, my experience with the PlayStation headsets thus far has been pretty negative. And the charging station I do want to get, can't get a pre-order for it yet. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so like I said, I got the console. I'm gonna get Miles Morales. I'll probably get Sackboy because it's only $50, and I like platformers, and I actually do like Little Big Planet. But I think what?
Do we know when? Sorry, do we know when RE8 is coming out? Resident Evil?
No, but usually it comes out in like January and February.
Okay.
Or March. They usually like the beginning of the year. Recently. Yeah, don't be shocked if like Tokyo Game Show next week shows the release date and it's like January.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
So I'm gonna get that. Obviously, I have Madden already, so that's a PS5 game. Because it's a free upgrade. I'm planning to get Watch Dogs Legion on PS4 instead of PS5 because I don't.
I think that's a free upgrade as well, isn't it?
It is, but I don't like playing it like around that time because. And then I'm buying Cyberpunk, which in my head it's a title game. It's a launch title.
Yeah.
Even though it's a week after.
The annoying thing for me is, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna play Cyberpunk on my PS5 because they're coming out the same day for me.
Exactly.
So the annoying thing is, if for you guys you can play Miles Morales with your new shiny PS5,
right?
I have to choose whether I want to play Miles Morales or Cyberpunk first because they both come out the same day for me.
Ouch.
What would you rather play?
I don't know. I might lean more towards Miles Morales just because it'll be shorter.
That's what I would do.
And I can get it done more quickly and then move on.
That'd be me. Cyberpunk's a game you can't play it at the same time as anything else. You gotta dedicate you gotta dedicate your time to that.
Which is why I don't know that I'm more excited for either one of them.
Yeah.
But logically, I'll probably end up playing Miles Morales first.
Right. So yeah. So I'm not getting Assassin's Creed. Not until way later. I have no interest in that. I'm not.
That's the big thing. I'm interested in Assassin's Creed. I was going to get it.
Yeah.
But I'll probably wait on it if I play it at all, just because there's so much stuff coming out in November. There's no time for a big 80-hour RPG apart from Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
You know.
So, Godfall and Call of Duty are kind of games that like I'll get for Christmas from somebody. Like, oh, you want a game? Oh, I want like Godfall. As long as I don't have to buy it, I'd play it. You know what I mean? As long as I don't have to buy it myself, because I'm not paying $70 for Godfall. I'm just
I feel the mark Avengers.
Yeah, so
yeah. I mean, Godfall's a game that
I'd probably enjoy it. I'd probably enjoy it, but not for $70.
Yeah.
I mean, Godfall will probably be on PS Plus at some point, I would imagine.
It feels like
a few years down the line.
It does feel like that.
Yeah, definitely feels like a PS Plus game.
And like I said, I'm getting the controller, an extra. I always have one extra controller. Yep. I'm thinking about getting the headset. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about the camera. I was gonna get the remote, but I don't see the point, and I'm definitely getting the charging station. So that's where I'm at. All right. So on that note, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Next week is the Tokyo Game Show, I believe. It's also Mafia Remastered comes out that Thursday.
I'll be playing that.
And then, but other than that, it's kind of I mean, you never know, but it feels like a dry week, so we might have a special topic, but we'll see.
Maybe the special topic can be we shit on Godfall some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 best insults we can come up with for Godfall.
I don't know how long the Tokyo Game Show is going to be. We're probably not going to do a live stream because it's going to be like 4 a.m, but...
Oh, yeah. No, heck that.
I mean, only one that can do it is Mitch. So unless Mitch wants to just do it himself and do his own live react.
That would be incredible content.
Mitch making his amazing re-entrance back into PS Premiere.
All right, so I appreciate you guys. You guys all have a good night. And peace. All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
What's up, PlayStation fans? Thank you for listening and watching the PS Premiere podcast. We upload every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like what you heard, click the like button and subscribe.